going to a church which was run by a man from Burundi, and that church was eventually closed. When the church was closed, she was going to another church, but now this pastor from Burundi started calling her after hearing us acknowledge him at the March and asked her why is her brother supporting March and March.
When journalists will go, they went to Sherwood there in Devon. Are you legal in the? Yeah, me, I'm legal in the country. I'm just here to come and help these people. Shut up!
As you can see, the mayor is the one that dropped us here. And when he dropped us here, he said, Minister of Home Affairs is going to give us shelter. So
obtain the documents and go anyway. That's why our travel documents have lost value. So nobody's going to be telling us nonsense about I am legal. Legal because you obtained them fraudulently? Sit down.
You see this video here. The reason I included this video here is because the media have successfully planted in the hearts of people that the illegal immigrant businesses that are being taken over by South Africans are just taken over without any compensation. What they don't want people to know is that these businesses goes through negotiation, they agreed upon, and then a South African who has the money pays outrightly, buys these businesses from their owners, all right, because of course they need to go back. Welcome back everyone, and I appreciate you for clicking. I'm still your host Lillian, and I will appreciate a like, a subscription, and of course your comments are welcome in the comment section. Jacinta made a video that broke my heart. Before we get into other videos, let us begin this video with Jacinta's video.
We're standing outside the home of one of the artists who we had given thanks and acknowledgement to on the 30th of June, Pastor Mjosti. So on the 30th of June, he was one of the artists that we said has shown his support to March and March. And then today I got a call from him in the morning saying that there's been an incident here. So his sister had been going to a church which was run by a man from Burundi, and that church was eventually closed. When the church was closed, she was going to another church, but now this pastor from Burundi started calling her after hearing us acknowledge him at the March and asked her why is her brother supporting March and March. To which she explained that obviously he's an old man, he can support whoever he wants. And then after that, the man showed up in the wee hours of the morning and stabbed her 43 times, if I'm not mistaken, 40 plus times, and as well as their little daughter here. So she's currently in hospital under intensive care, but also the guy was caught thanks to the neighbor who was very brave and ran after him and went to call the police. This guy is a guy from Burundi. He came into South Africa, God knows as what, but he started a church, and apparently that church was closed down. After the church was closed down, he then became a car guard. But this particular man is also a soldier, trained soldier. So he was in the country walking around doing God knows what to survive. And today he's absolutely destroyed a family and stabbed a woman 40-something times just because that woman is related to someone who supports March and March. And we're not going to have that, because we're not supposed to have such people in our country in the first place. But our government has subjected us to such people who are soldiers, trained soldiers in their own country, coming to our country and doing all of these things. So yeah, we're still praying that she recovers. And yeah, I'm gonna say it in Zulu now, because I know some people will complain. But namhlanje sila ngaphandle kwasekhaya la Pastor Mjosti. Omunye abantu bathi ngomhla 30 kwa June sibonga ukuthi ukwazile ukuthi akhulume ngeMarch and March nangokubaleka ukuthi izwe lethu likwazi ukuthi limele ngaphandle kokuthi lingenwe abantu bangaphandle bezogcwala la. Kuseksa njalo usisi wakhe uPastor Mjosti wase eseyabuza ke oseyathola ikhole ebuzwa umfundisi wakhe ngaleso sikhathi ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ukuthi ubhuti wakho abe kulezi zinto zeMarch and March ngoba phela wena ubhuti wakho uyicelebrity kumele ngabe umuntu neutral. Wathi ke usisi angazi phela ngoba ubhuti umuntu naye umdala uyakwazi ukuzenzela inqumo zakhe. Wathi kusanjalo ke wasuka ke umfundisi lo wafika namhlanje kuseni ngekhathi nje zentathakusa wangena endlini mayengena endlini aqale amgwazi usisi anginayisho ukuthi 40 how many times noma 42 noma 43 kodwa kulako 40 something ikhathi amgwaze zona. Ngizoyifaka ke nevideo izolandela nje la ukuze niyibonele ukuthi into ebuhlungu kangakanani. Kodwa nje siyabiza amaphoyisa sibiza nohulumeni ukuthi uzoyilungisa le ndawo ngoba kwazi ukuthi izwe lethu kuhamba kucala uze bonke abantu laba basuka emazweni abo ba amasosha atrainiwe kuze kulimala abantu bakithi ngenxa nje ukuthi bamele iqiniso. Ngimhlungu kakhulu ngalento enzekela. I think futhi ngiyathandaza ukuthi uNkulunkulu asipha amandla ukuthi sidlule kulobu bumvini esibhekane nabo ngoba siyakhala nje sikhala ngayo lento ukuthi abantu bokufika la asibazi nokuthi bobani baqhamuka kuma background abanjani. Abaningi babo siyabazi basuka emakhaya nodlame omazweni anodlame kodwa uhulumeni wathi azange uzosivikele kuleyo nto. So leli gazi leli lapha lalo sisi nolengane yakhe lelaphayani sezandleni kahulumeni wethu. Uwona okumele uwenze sure ukuthi labantu bayaphuma ezweni lethu ngokusheshsha ngoba sazi ukuthi njengoba kusisika Mjosti nje namhlanje kusasa kuzobuba. And senicela ama South Africans manje ngicabanga ukuthi le mpi incane akobe niyabona ukuthi inkulu kangakanani ngoba namhlanje ibona kusasa ngase kubo wena and west mhlambe kusasa kuba ngisho ingane zakho ungasekho wena awuzange uyisukumele uyilwele kulempi esibhekane nayo. Labantu abangasibona bala efana ngaba bekho la abahambe.
It is barely in the news because it is the opposite side, all right? Because it is done against a South African. So a lot of people are not interested because that is not what people want to see. They don't want to hear that. They don't care because South Africans' lives don't really matter to a lot of people. The people that matters are the undocumented migrants in South Africa. So if this was to be the opposite side by now, the whole internet would have been on fire. I only hope that the family gets justice. Let us move on to the next video.
I'm also one of the people that sleep here on the streets. So now this is our 8th week and next week is our 9th week. We still don't have shelter, we still don't have anywhere to go. We try going back to the community. People are still being attacked, they're coming back. We want shelter, we want a place of safety. As you can see, the mayor is the one that dropped us here. And when he dropped us here, he said, Minister of Home Affairs is going to give us shelter. So now we don't have any shelter. Other people have been given shelter, as you can see. People have been given camps. But the ones that are documented, we do not have a place of safety for now. We are begging, please, for them to give us a place of shelter so we can be safe. We are not safe here. People are being knocked down by cars. Accidents is being so many times people are having accidents here. Kids are roaming around here. We please need a place of safety. Please, we're begging you guys. Thank you.
Before you leave, can you please just also tell us about some of the incidents that have happened where people have been attacked?
Okay, there are some few incidents that have happened. There was a pregnant lady that took a taxi. She tried going back to the community. She was beaten up in a taxi because she was speaking Swahili. There's another guy that was trying to cross the road. There was a blue car that came. I gave her a slap. We gave him a slap. And another white car, boom, on the floor. We tried to take him to the hospital. They didn't want to take him. We had to fight because he has documents. They took him for an hour or two. They bandaged his head. They gave him Panadol. They brought him back here. 3 days ago as well, a drunk Zulu guy coming with speed just hit our car. Woo! And that's another incident. Another lady got hurt because she was sleeping on the floor. So there are so many incidents going on.
I'm sure most of you guys have seen this video about this Mozambican lady. She was operating a saloon. Obviously she was renting the building from somebody, paying rentals, operating a saloon, and they gave her notice to leave because she's a foreigner. Fine, good and well. They said to her, okay, can you tell us, somebody wants to take over the saloon, a local person wants to take over the saloon, can you tell us how much the saloon is worth? The lady said the saloon is worth 100,000 rands. They said, no. She said, this saloon is not worth 100,000 rands. Masbala is $1 in this saloon. When we just count all these things that are here, this saloon is worth 10,000 rands. So from 100,000 that she had requested, they wanted to give her 10,000 rands. How can you quantify building a business and having repeat customers for a long period of time? How much is that? Can you put a price on that? Let's be fair, guys. Let's be fair. You just want somebody who has not worked for any of this clientele to build this business, for people to know the saloon, for people to keep coming back to the saloon on a monthly, weekly, or whatever bi-weekly basis. Pulling all the carpentry work that she did to enhance this saloon, she's pulling it all down because she wants you to start from scratch, just like she did.
That they come on our national TV and tell us that they are legal from Malawi. When you ask them what kind of a document you have, if they don't have a study permit, they have asylum. We have proven that these guys are never going into a classroom, but they have a study permit. But you have an asylum, but there's no war in Malawi. What does this mean? It means that the system is corrupted to a point that even the international community, they know that South Africa is a weakling. And the reason is a weakling is because they know that there are people in the Department of Home Affairs that will sort you out. As a matter of fact, work that when you go to department, go to Harrison Street, the activity there is like landlachte. You go there, you want to do your license. The people that are outside there, they will sort you out. What do you want? Before you even go inside, you're going to meet somebody outside who's going to ask you, what do you want? What's the point I'm making? That internationally, people now know that if you want travel documents, the safest and most corrupt country that you can go to is South Africa. And once you've got your South African documents right, you can then travel anywhere else. It is for this reason that you find people in other parts of the world, his name is Okonko, but he has a South African passport. But actually, they actually wanted to be in London, but the only way towards London was to come to South Africa first, obtain the documents, and go anywhere. That's why our travel documents have lost value. So nobody's going to be telling us nonsense about I am legal. Legal because you obtained them fraudulently? Sit down. I'm not going to allow anybody to threaten me. You can tell. When journalists will go, they went to Sherwood there in Devon. Are you legal in the? Yeah, me, I'm legal in the country. I'm just here to come and help these people. Shut up! Where are you from? I'm from Malawi. What kind of documents do you have? I've got an asylum. Okay. When you say that to us, quiet, done. Sit down. We don't want to talk anymore. Done. Because we know that from all these countries where there's no war, I'll tell you that you got those documents fraudulently. And yes, you got them from our people. Yes, they are official documents from Home Affairs. But if we were going to do an investigation on that quality of that paper and the process that was followed, I will tell you, you will not stand the test of time. So much and much, the people of South Africa are now talking about the issue of asylum and immigration or migration in South Africa. because it has been taken for granted.
Now, let us begin with the salon lady. What is wrong with organizing your things if you are refusing to sell your items, which is not a must? What is wrong with organizing all of those things and then taking them to her own country to go start a business over there? You see this video here? The reason I included this video here is because the media have successfully planted in the hearts of people that the illegal immigrant businesses that are being taken over by South Africans are just taken over without any compensation. What they don't want people to know is that these businesses goes through negotiation they agreed upon, and then a South African who has the money pays outrightly, buys these businesses from their owners, all right, because of course they need to go back. And if you can carry the business, why destroy it? Now, refusing to sell, people are still blaming South Africans for pricing that business for the amount they priced it. Instead of advising our beloved African sister, Princess, to gather everything together and take it to Mozambique, or don't people do their hair in Mozambique? Must that business be in South Africa? Or fine, you don't want to sell to those. Why not sell it to other people? You want to say, which time is she going to have to do all that? The notice was given to her 6 months ago that she would be going back to Mozambique. I bet she thought, okay, it's a usual noise. Once South Africans comes out here, talk about it, Africans will come together, backlash South Africans, and then they will shame them, and that way there will be silence, and then they will continue to stay. 5 years later, South Africans will come out again and demand that they leave, and they will all come together again, backlash them, shame them, call them xenophobic. Then they will hide again. Then this migrant will continue. I bet she thought so. So she didn't see this coming. She didn't know that this time around she was going to go. So now that she knows she's going to go, instead of packing her things and going peacefully, she would rather destroy it. And then people still come out to blame South Africans. Hello. Oh, wow. Is it that South Africans were not created by God or something? It's as if everyone just hates so much, unnecessarily hates. Anyway, that is that. Let us talk about this lady on the screen. According to the first video of her, this lady here is a Ghanaian. That video trended. By the time I wanted to do it, I was occupied with a lot of things, so I didn't bother doing it. And for the fact that I was trying my best to avoid talking about Ghana, anything that involves Ghana or Ghanaians on this issue, because the hate was just too much. My mental health was in a bad place, but I bless God that I have regained myself. I'm ready right now to talk about issues the way they are. So this is a Ghanaian here. This lady on the screen is a Ghanaian. According to the first video of her that went viral, where she said they have attacked her, they have robbed her. In that video, she was not specific who robbed her. She didn't say it was armed robber. Came across to a lot of people as if South Africans teamed together, wore their South African flag, and then went to attack her. She forgot to tell the media she was robbed by the bad guys that much and much people are also fighting against. Now, this is a Ghanaian. Why don't she want to come back to Ghana? This is the question. As a Nigerian, I might want to say I don't want to be in Nigeria. Makes sense. Because number one, there is no electricity, and that is fact, nothing but fact. Health insurance in my country, Nigeria, is for the ones that are working class, people that can afford it, while the poor do not have access to health insurance in Nigeria. But in Ghana, that is not the case. Health insurance for all. Needless to talk about education. In Ghana, education for all. Education in Ghana from primary 1 till the second year in the university is free for all Ghanaian children. So why are you not coming back to your country? Why must you continue to be in South Africa? It's not making sense to me. They made you homeless. Why not come back to Ghana? Why are you running away from home, sister? Why? This is why I'm saying that these our brothers and sisters in South Africa are just using us to hate on South Africans. If not, why this amount of complaining in a country that this country, you don't belong there. You love it, you hate it, you kick, you cry. I am a Nigerian. I am not a Ghanaian. I cry, I kick, I do whatever I like. I am not a Ghanaian. And that is fact. Why are you running away from home exactly? Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one.